Dustin is a more of a get in your face, up in your face, up in your grill type of fighter. He looks to try to take you down. He's looking to just mix it up and make the fight dirty. What's going on, fight fans? What's going on, Sweet Dreams Nation? We have another UFC Fight Night live from the fight capital of the world, Las Vegas. We got Gilbert Burns taking on Michael Morales. Fight that was supposed to be on the, I believe it was on the main card for last week's pay-per-view. Moved over to the main event for this week. Some fairly decent fights. I don't really know a lot about a whole lot of guys on this card, so I'm gonna just kind of keep it to just the feature prelim and then the main card. And let's talk about it. Starting out, we got Gabe Green versus Matheus Camillo. Yeah, I said Camillo. I didn't really see much about Matheus. His UFC debut, so crazy spot to be in as a feature prelim, especially with a Jared Gordon and Thiago Moises on the same card. But I seen some clips. I seen some clips from him. What I've noticed about him is he's a hugger, right? He's more of one of those guys that kind of comes in and clinches, doesn't really use the jab a whole lot. Gets in, works from the clinch. He keeps his hands defensively responsible a little bit from the most part for the most part, from what I've seen. Like I said, I didn't really see a whole lot on him. Gabe Green, I'm a little bit more familiar with. I've seen him fight a few times. Seen him fighting live and in person. Gabe has good hands. Gabe has good hands. He has fairly decent boxing. He's good at tracking. He's good at tracking people. If he's able to get you up against the corner of the cage, he's able to unload shots that can possibly put you away. And that's what I've seen from Matheus. That's what I've seen. So for Gabe, I believe he should let Matheus try to come in. Wait for him to come in, kind of pop a jab out there, work behind the jab, draw him in, and then just counter him off of his entry, because he kind of enters with his head down the side, hands kind of low. He's not really, or he's reaching for punches. So I believe for Gabe, just let Matheus come enter with the punches. For Gabe, we've seen Gabe have trouble whenever he's up against the cage, and he just gets into this point where he just starts throwing and he gets really tall. Whenever he's throwing, he's able to be caught there. He gets kind of caught up and not thinking about his defense. So Matheus, that's one spot where Matheus could counter on from there. But like I said, I don't really know much about the guy, so this is where we're gonna leave that at. Moving on, Julian Erosa versus Melakazali, Costa. How you say that name? I don't know. I don't even know. But yeah, it's a pretty good fight. How do I see this fight? So Costa's last fight, I believe, was against Andre Fili. And he was able to. He was actually getting touched up a little bit in that fight. Before, no, he's had another win since then. He beat Christian Rodriguez by unanimous decision. But Andre Fili was actually having some success with the striking, in that he ended up eating a couple hard leg kicks and then decided to shoot for a takedown and got caught in the guillotine. And that was how Costa ended that fight. Julian Erosa has really good striking. He's tall for the weight class. He's got long legs. He's 6'1" at featherweight, a 6'1" featherweight. He's got gonna have a 3.5-inch reach advantage here. And I believe he should work behind that. Work behind the reach. Teep kicks, straight punches, and watch out for the winging looping hooks, because we've seen Rosa get caught with those hooks and things of that nature before. And that's kind of one of the things that can happen whenever you kind of firing straight down the pipe. You got people try to loop around, come around that lean back, loop around that punch that's coming forward and clip you behind here, clip you on the chin, and those things. So he's got to be mindful of that. I believe his teep kicks will be money here. The low inside leg kicks will be money here, because Costa is also going to come in kicking heavy. He's a very kick heavy fighter. He's going to come out firing kicks. 100% he's going to come out firing kicks. I believe the ground game will probably lean more towards Costa. Costa, um, Julian's not an easy guy to get down. I believe Costa should try to corner him, back him up into the cage, and kind of try to get a hold of a leg, try to get him down to the ground, and work some of that dangerous jiu-jitsu where he's able to find successes and finishes with some submissions. So that's how I see that fight. Moving on, we have Dustin Stoltzfus versus Nasselton Ruziboev. I don't know. I don't know exactly the tongue on how to say it. Pause. But yeah. Nasselton is like 6'5", a 6'5" middleweight but his reach, his arms aren't that long actually. The reach is fairly close right here, but that 5 inches of height is pretty significant. You know, I believe he's gonna. The only thing about this, right? How I see this, Nasselton does not use his reach as far as the jab goes. He's not really big on the jab. He does have a good teep kick. He has good teep kicks. He has good long leg kicks, but he kind of just stands right in front of you. He's not off on an angle or anything like that. He's just being the taller fighter. He's used to being the taller fighter. Dustin is a more of a get in your face, up in your face, up in your grill type of fighter. He looks to try to take you down. He's looking to just mix it up and make the fight dirty. He's gonna have to do that in this one. He's gonna have to try to get in close, fire some shots from inside, and look to try to hurt him. I believe shots to the body should be there. The takedown, the shot over because how Nasselton reaches long. He punches very, very long. He punches from far back. He's not exactly using his reach or anything like that. And I think that's partially has to do with him. He don't see punches well. You know, we seen in the Joaquin Buckley fight, he was able to catch him with a lot of hooks and a lot of punches that he just didn't see coming. And eventually, you know what I mean, they added up and they believe they went to decision. Yeah, they went to decision, and that third round, I believe it was pretty close, and Joaquin was able to edge it out just on the fact of he just was able to push a little bit more. So I believe Dustin should set a pace on him, commit to a pace, stay on the inside, stay in his face, and keep him uncomfortable, keep him on that back leg, while being mindful of the shots that can still come at him, because he's good at leaning back and drawing and landing solid shots. You know, and like I said, he's 6'5", so he's able to lean a little bit further than Dustin can punch and land. For Nasselton, I believe he should let Dustin come. Use reach. He needs to learn how to use that reach. Use the teep kicks. Use the leg kicks, but also use that jab. Use a jab to kind of keep him at that reach, because I mean, so a lot of times whenever he comes in, he has to come in. He's gonna have to dip and roll to come in. If he dips and rolls the wrong way, he'll be there for one of those long shots that he likes to land and hit people with. And yeah, that's how I see that fight for the most part. Getting into a little bit more higher skills and a little bit action fight. We're going to Sodiq Yusuff versus Mairon Santos. Good fight. I don't think we've seen Santos since he's won the Ultimate Fighter. He's a very technical fighter. He has very, very nasty leg kicks. He don't get too complacent with his strikes whenever he is striking. He will throw from inside the pocket, but he's really good at keeping that hand up and just leaning and using a little bit of a lean, reach, and some athleticism to make your shot miss, so he can still be in range to land his shots. Sodiq, we already know about Sodiq, the Nigerian power that he comes in with. He's got really good boxing on the inside. His wrestling, he's a very strong wrestler. Whenever he goes and shoots the takedowns for blasts and double legs and things like that, he's got a lot of power. Let me see what the reach is. So Sodiq will be 2 inches taller, but the reach advantage will be in Santos's favor. So I mean, not a whole lot to get from the physicality of both, but how do I see this fight though? So for Marion, I'm gonna say the leg kicks. He's gonna have to work behind those leg kicks. But the only thing about the leg kicks that I see from him is the fact that he throws them naked. He's standing right in front of you and kind of nakedly throw the leg kicks. He'll throw them leaning back while he's being pressed backwards and things like that. And those type of things can get you caught. Leg kicks are better when they're set up behind punches or set up from with some movement. Maybe you turn them a little bit and then you're able to set up the leg kicks from there. I believe he's gonna have to take those legs. He's gonna have to take out Sodiq's legs in order to take away from that power and how Sodiq gets on the inside with the combinations. He's gonna have to work that teep kick, leaning back the way that he does and kind of leaning out of the way could get him caught and could be possibly detrimental. But I believe he should definitely work behind the leg kicks, mix it up between the punches and the kicks, and I believe that's where he'll have a lot more sex for Sodiq. I believe Sodiq, just like Santos has good leg kicks, he's very susceptible to getting leg kicked. His legs have been chopped in other fights. I believe Sodiq with a solid jab, with a good jab and good leg kicks, could work his way on the inside and start landing those body shots, those good strong punches that he likes to land in close and in the pocket, and things of that nature. I believe that should be how Sodiq actually gets going. If he can get him down early on to where you can kind of take a little bit of wind out of him and take away from his cardio, I believe that's the thing that he could also do as well to give himself an advantage in this fight. That's how I see it. Moving on, Rodolfo Bellato, Rodolfo Bellato versus Paul Craig. The Craig man. Good fight, good matchup. So let's check out the physical attributes. Both 6'3". Rodolfo will have an inch and a half reach, a little bit longer legs, but virtually the physicality is kind of pretty close to the same, very close to being similar. How do I see this fight? All right, for Paul Craig, we already know, dangerous on the ground, dangerous off his back, loves to drag people down to the ground into his guard, where he has a nasty guard and he's able to control people and ultimately look and work those finishes from the triangles to the arm bars and whatnot. Rodolfo is he's a powerful dude. He's a power puncher. He comes forward with some solid shots that can take your head off, but he reaches a lot, So, but Paul Craig's striking isn't always the best to be able to take advantage of that. But I believe with a solid jab, if Paul gives him space, right, puts a little space on him, move and uses movement around, like hop, not trying to stay out of the pocket from him. Whenever Rodolfo comes forward off that first shot, there's a counter there to be landed. I've seen it time and time again. Whenever I was watching fights, he don't have many fights. But it's the fight against Jimmy Crute. Jimmy Crute was able to catch him a lot and actually dropped him in the first round just off of the fact of how he closes the distance. He kind of closes distance head first. So if Paul could work some sharp strikes initially from the jump from there, there's that. As well as off of his back, Rodolfo gets beat up, man. Rodolfo takes a beating off of his back. So Paul Craig getting it to the ground, whether it be from the top, from him on top, or just, him on bottom, because he's Paul Craig and he's just dangerous like that. I believe getting the fight to the ground will be huge for Paul. We've seen that he struggled. His shots aren't I wouldn't say the best, but he's able to shoot and pull people into his world. I believe his best shot is getting this fight to the ground. For Rodolfo, he's gonna have to corner Craig. He's gonna have to back him up, use some feints to back him up, get him into that cage, get him into that corner, and then initiate those strikes. So he don't really have room to draw back and counter, because whenever he enters, like I said, he's open to be countered. And I believe those big shots that he lands, if he lands a couple of those big shots on Paul, that could be bad news for Paul Craig. Paul's fighting for his job here, as he said in a recent interview. So you got to look for him to come out and look to be dangerous and try to hang on to his job. Moving on to the main event of the evening, Gilbert Burns versus Michael Morales. All right. honestly, what's the physical? I believe Michael Morales is the taller fighter here. 6 foot to 5'10", so not a whole lot of not giving up a whole lot, about 3 inches in height. Where he gives up the most is in the reach department. Gilbert has 71 inches of reach. Michael Morales has long orangutan arms at 79 inches for his reach, which is ridiculous. Now, here's what I'll say about this. Even with that reach, Michael Morales does look for big shots, right? He does look for big shots. He has the ability to be a good puncher and a good striker. He doesn't use the jab much. He's not very big on the jab, and a lot of his punches are explosively forward. Just like Gilbert. Gilbert kind of rushes and lunges in the range. He doesn't really use a lot of good footwork to get himself inside, which would leave him susceptible to a jab. I believe Michael Morales, if he used a jab, would give him a huge edge in this fight, especially with the reach being what it is and how much distance Gilbert would have to cover to get there. We've seen Michael Morales clinch a lot. He clinches a lot in his fights up against the cage. He works people, wears them out. I believe he is the younger fighter, so I believe the gas tank and the youth will play huge into his favor if they do get into kind of like that just clinch work and pummeling up against the cage and whatnot and things of that nature. Gilbert's gonna have to get this guy to the ground. He's gonna have to get him to the ground and work that world-class grappling that he has. Michael Morales is no slouch on the ground, but if I were going who I would give the grappling advantage to, I'd give it more towards Gilbert. Another thing, the leg kicks. Gilbert can work leg kicks to try to kind of chop at his leg and kind of chop at the bit from there. The way Michael's stance just leaves him susceptible to leg kicks, and whenever he eats them, he don't really throw much back after that. He more so likes to lean back whenever you're swinging, lean back and try to catch you coming in, right? Yeah. For Gilbert, get the fight to the ground. Try to work some ground and pound from the top. Work to get it. Try to get a submission. Try to get on his back. Get yourself in dominant positions on the ground. Michael Morales, kind of be patient. He can be patient, which he is. He is with his strike. He can be patient and wait for Gilbert to come in and make a mistake and catch Gilbert on the entry. And I believe he should do that. But also move your feet a little bit more. He's going to have to get on the bike and move his feet a little bit more, just because a lot of shots he throw are big actions, and when he misses, he leaves himself open to be shot and taken down, to be ducked under for a takedown, which I believe Gilbert will do. All in all, pretty solid fight. Look forward to it. We'll see what happens in it. Y'all tap in. Just want to get this out real quick for this card, and we'll see y'all later. Sweet Dreams Nation. Appreciate y'all.